Welcome to Beardy, Bruce Lee Central.
You know what that was?
What?
The triads got him.
Do you think so? You really do?
You know those people, they're Sicilian, dog. Listen, you know what? I'm going to kill you and your son.
Really?
And they did it.
That's what it is? Because I'd heard that that Bruce Lee died from some sort of an allergic reaction to a drug or...
Want me to tell you something about that video?
Yeah.
I did that video and I was in bed for a week. That was 30 seconds and I was in bed for a week. And it's not funny because it made me realize that this is big boy shit, okay?
Big boy shit.
This big boy shit. You was
There
out,
it is right there.
Yeah, that wasn't really cool.
That's a strange thing to say.
Well, that's just what I want. I wanted to find out because you're really bright. And I thought you would figure it. No, I'm being very serious.
No, I know. I know you're being serious, but I mean, no one will understand that. But in real combat, like Bruce Lee wrote very extensively about real combat situations. Like he was always like completely fascinated by the concept of utilizing minimum effort, incorporating all the best techniques from all different martial arts, and only doing what's effective and discarding what's useless. And
His prime, who would have won in a no-holds-barred fight? Mike Tyson or Bruce Lee? I picked you. Was I right?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Was I right or was I wrong?
Hey, I like to think you're right too. Yeah, I think you're right. Bruce Lee had an awesome philosophy about life, and he blew me away. Bruce Lee's a killer. You hurt your man, you do as much damage as you can, and you get out. You know what I mean? Without being hurt. Less damage on yourself as possible. I have so much respect for his philosophy. His philosophy is like the ultimate warrior philosophy. Life is like water. Fighting is like water. You have to adapt. Wow, this is deep. Bruce Lee gets me deep when I talk about Bruce.
Okay, so how many times have you heard this? Bruce Lee was just 140 pounds, 150 pounds. He was a lightweight. He could not have fought against a heavyweight. He would lose against a heavyweight. There's a big weight discrepancy between a lightweight and a heavyweight, and Bruce Lee could not cope with a heavyweight. How many times have you heard that argument? And I've always said that size does not matter, okay? The fighter is what matters. Bruce Lee could take on any weight class out there, okay? A middleweight, a lightweight, a heavyweight, even a super heavyweight. It does not matter. And you know what? Mike Tyson agrees with me, okay? I managed to find this old clip from a VHS that I recently restored, where Mike Tyson is talking about exactly this, about sizes in boxing, and that a knockout puncher does not have to be a heavyweight, okay? Size does not matter, and Mike Tyson agrees with us, okay? So here, take a look at what Mike Tyson said about Bruce Lee and about heavyweights.
What does it take for a real knockout puncher to get the job done?
Well, there's a certain kind of knockout punches. There's something, being a big man really doesn't matter. It has no significance in knocking out someone. The main point is the quickness and what you throw the punches.
149 pounds. You had 6 more pounds that you could have taken, but you elected not to. Why come in at this weight?
Because
particularly when you know he's going to be 170 tomorrow night.
Weight doesn't win fights. Fighting wins fights.
No, I enjoyed working with John Saxon.
Yeah.
John Saxon's a great actor. I was very fortunate to have, in my opinion, the greatest martial artist ever lived.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee. I'll talk to you about that later. Probably have questions for me on that. But in my opinion, I tell you right now, I fought the best. I trained with the best. I know great martial artists, and there's never been anybody, in my opinion, like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable, guys. You don't know how great this guy was. People don't really know. I'm talking about martial artists,
right?
Guy who knew his stuff. This guy was. There's stories I know about Bruce Lee that I don't even share because I have respect for the people, other people in martial arts, and it's not necessary for me to name names. I know who Bruce Lee sparred with.
Yeah.
I know. They won't tell you. But I know people he sparred with. I never mention their names either. But Bruce Lee was untouchable.
Yeah. Is it in the book? Is it in your book?
No.
Oh, come on,
I mention this, but I never tell the names.
Can I get everybody to swear to secrecy? Can you say one name?
No.
Can you mix them up? Can you have a jumble of a name?
No, I have too much respect.
Can I guess?
No, you probably could.
Yeah, I probably could. Because I know a lot of people he sparred with as well.
I wouldn't confirm it.
Yeah, there you go. That's fair enough.
But I just have too much respect for other guys in martial arts.
I have to say, being confident in myself, that I feel I would have done very well in the MMA arena because of my judo training. I was a black belt in judo, and plus I had multiple black belts in karate, taekwondo, tang soo do, and so forth. And plus I studied jiu-jitsu with Gene LaBelle back in the early 60s and 70s. And so I felt I was pretty well rounded, and I really credit that for the success I had in the ring of my competitive days. And so I felt I would have done well, and I think Bruce would have too. He was a fanatical trainer. When he and I'd work out, we'd work out for 3 or 4 hours in his backyard in Culver City, California. And after we finished working out, we'd go into the living room, and I'd sit down on the couch, and Linda, his wife, would bring me a glass of iced tea. Well, Bruce would drop down on the floor and start doing crunches. I said, Bruce, there's times to relax too. You need to relax as well, because you'll burn that engine out if you keep right on training all the time. You've got to recharge your battery. And but Bruce had a hard time doing that. He had a hard time recharging his battery.
I've no doubt he would have been world champion in MMA, no doubt. He's fluid, he's loose, he's fast. His movement is fluid, it's efficient, it's functional. So many guys are addicted to strength and conditioning and just get bulked up and stiff and slow, and Bruce was free. His body was nimble.
You ask any fighter out there growing up who their inspiration was, everybody says Bruce Lee.
It just makes you feel powerless because no one's going to be like Bruce Lee. I mean, the things us martial arts draw from today, he came up with a lot of that stuff. Like, where do you come up with this?
He hit extremely hard. He could hit as hard as a heavyweight. He had real fast twitch muscle fibers, something he's born with. He trained hard. He worked on a lot of his stabilizers and muscles, and especially his speed. I always thought he was like the fastest guy who ever stood in front of me. He had incredible, what I call kind of a Zen level of consciousness. In psychology, we call it the implicit level of consciousness. You didn't know when he was going to squeeze that trigger. And he always knew when you weren't ready. He had blinding speed, especially with his hands. And I know that's because he stood in front of me and he popped me a few times. So I've always told people, I know how hard Bruce Lee could hit. I know how fast he was because he nailed me. And I've always told people, I know what real Jeet Kune Do was because I got popped with it a few times.
I've no doubt he would have been world champion in MMA, no doubt. He's fluid, he's loose, he's fast. His movement is fluid, it's efficient, it's functional. So many guys are addicted to strength and conditioning and just get bulked up and stiff and slow, and Bruce was free. His body was nimble.
You ask any fighter out there growing up who their inspiration was, everybody says Bruce Lee.
It just makes you feel powerless because no one's going to be like Bruce Lee. I mean, the things us martial arts draw from today, he came up with a lot of that stuff. Like, where do you come up with this stuff?